my other Michael. We're blessed with Michael. So let us bring our hands together in that beautiful golden, beautiful sacred heart space. And our gratitude right here. Just this moment. And just that gentle, beautiful breath. Very nice and easy. Just feeling that incredible heartbeat. Feeling that inner smile, that divine smile inside. And let's just bow to each other, bow in that beautiful place, making that beautiful eye contact with one another, seeing that beautiful sacred soul that is behind that incredible physical eye. Ooh. There's such a presence when we just bow to the grace that is behind the lens that sees and gets you. And Cheryl. So welcome everyone to our sacred Sunday spiritual service. We welcome our newcomers and thank you so much, and our beloved family and friends and our incredible guest speaker today. Very, very thankful. So, do you want me to start it and then would you like to sit or do you want to stand next to me?
We'll just stand right now.
Whatever you like, you can. Whatever you like, sweetheart. I guess you're next to me. So, here we are on another sun-filled day, and a warm day, a beautiful day where we're granted the opportunity and really the gift of showing up. And how are we showing up, right? And just showing up, we're taking an active role in getting dressed and tuning to that grandfather sun energy on this beautiful sun-filled day after the summer solstice, right? This incredible summer solstice, and then still in the window of the full moon energy, and letting that inner presence come out, right? Hot day, sometimes we're complaining, but we forget there's this divine presence inside, in all of our bodies, in all of our monads, all of our aspects. There's this pulse of this presence that just wants to gift us each and every day, right? To show our limited self that, hey, I'm here with you. I'm part of you. I'm showing you the way, but can you feel me? Right? Can you feel me? Sometimes on a heated day, our hearts are pounding a little further, right? There's more of that heart palpitation. But there's a purpose for it. We're sweating a little bit, right? Part of it is because the body's heated so that we can feel the divine heat inside. The divine heat has the fire, has the fuel, and has the power. But it is through that power and the fuel and the fire that we actually get things done. So we came back from North Carolina this past week, and it's been very interesting following this sort of like this calling. What is this calling? Like there's this calling for us to visit some of these vortexes that I mentioned in the email, the Syrian High Council that spoke through the channeling in the Masters event in Long Island last month. And the Syrian High Council was asking everybody, do you prioritize joy in your everyday life? And the audience were like, yes. And the Syrian High Council was like, no, you don't. You prioritize work. You don't prioritize joy. So it was very interesting as the Syrian High Council, there were 3 dolphin things that were speaking through me. What they were showing me in the technology aspect of what happens when the vibration of joy is the dominant, how do I want to say this, dominant energy in which we are operating from. So on a collective presence around Earth, we are all part of a collective presence. Each of you are embodied as a spark of divine in this form, in this form, in this form, totally consciously chosen to come in this way with your soul family and the ancient family to come in for a very particular purpose. One part of it is to help clear a lot of the density, because this incarnation we are in a form which is a materialized form, it's heavier in the elements, so we can experience ourselves this way. But we are light forms, and the light body is only experienced through our cells, which is the spectrum of light. There's a rainbow light within all of our cells when you look at it in the negative ions that are inside our cells. And there's this dance of atomic, beautiful, like dance around our molecules and cells, and this atomic energy spinning, just so it can keep the vibration going that comes from the presence of divine and the whole universe. So we are incarnated here, but we have been taking these forms and taking the embodiment to help clear and transform the energy, but through a lot of pain and suffering, right? Pain and suffering. So many traumas, dramas, and just the level of pain. But very importantly, so we can feel Mother Earth's pain, because we're all part of that elements, right? We're all part of that incredible medicine wheel, our own medicine wheel, so we can tap into our own medicine wheel and restructure the foundation in the new foundation. Often we've all been stripped from what we've had, right? So we can come back to what's already there, what has always been there. The new, thank you. And this borrowed karma. So in the collective agreement, we're all part of. And the collective agreement, we've often given our energy, our sacred, I call it juices, because that's our jolt and juices, but towards the problems. Good Lord, the sacred planet has a lot of problems. However, as Bonita and I talked about yesterday, there has been this calling from the Ascension team that we no longer have to suffer through our way. We have suffered enough, and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, many incarnations. We have done the suffering, we received the suffering. The beautiful karma has that part of karma has found its way to balance itself. But there is now this incredible, beautiful gift to allow the collective agreement to shift, but through the power of joy, through the power of prioritizing joy, because it is through joy when we allow that to consume us, we can actually experience love. Just being the vibration of love. And through that power of love, we can feel the divine that is already in us. So what is the message? Is there really a message? I don't think so. I just feel it's just a reminder that we come from this spectrum of love that's so vast, that's so grand, that's so incredible, that's so graceful, that's so generous, that's so abundant, that's so, just the awe and the wonder of it. And it's trickled down into this form, and sometimes through this form, we forget what we really are, which is that. So in order to create the change, and we have all desires, we're all here, some of you are all here to want to create a change. People that are drawn to us, we all want to contribute, want to do something. There's that genuine, pure innocence and desire to create impact, right? But our impact has been from a place of mental body, trying to organize it and control it and shovel it and put it in a certain packaging like this, right? And continue with the old energy versus allowing that space of joy to consume your force, whatever that passion is, that crazy, sizzling, delicious fire passion, and then from there create from it. Often that passion is even so thin, right? Because the fields are tight from the suffering and the pain. So what's our role here today? Beloved Michael and I were talking and invited our beloved Michael to share. All three of us have given it all up to then serve. That's what we share. Bonita has joined as well. And it is in that liberation. What is it that we're giving up? We're giving up that limited part of ourselves that has been stuck in the pain and suffering and attempt or try in doing it to gaining the true essence of being it, which is the vibration of joy. And from joy, creating, collaborating, and doing our part that is part of this collective agreement in changing and shifting. So I really wanted to start with that today as we move into what Michael is going to bring just how he's been touched and what he's contributing, and then we'll close out with Michael. And I wanted to just allow us to go into a prayer, a couple of things, and to just let ourselves feel that space inside. I'm a big collaborator with Saint Germain. I love Saint Germain. I have so much value and gratitude for his presence in our lives, particularly in America. Most of us that are incarnated, many of us have been born in other countries, and we've been incarnated here for a purpose, particularly to help the greatness of America to create the changes. America is a huge part of the prophecies, but the indigenous of all land on earth, many of the sources incarnated in other countries then came to America, so we can feel that alignment and be able to bring them true liberation and freedom from place of divine. So we can't mind what's playing out right now. The dirt has been shown, revealed. Now we bring our love to it, our joy to it, our light to it, but not give our attention to the density that's transformed. So with this, I wanted to invite you to bring your hands into your heart. So let us just allow ourselves to feel that beautiful breath inside, allowing that breath to just be felt so we can open up to the presence of our inner divine. So let us breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Let us thank our great, incredible, pure, sacred, holy flame inside the center of our chest. That incredible gift of the Holy Spirit that has been left behind so we can always find our home back to the divine source that which we come from. And we travel through galaxies and many different dimension realms to then bring all those gifts and treasures and presence from the heavenly realm here on earth. Through the beauty, we create the new realities, create the Sophia garden. And we allow ourselves to first embrace that inner child, that joyful gift of the inner child that has no fear, that knows his job is to play and have fun, and let joy be the way. Let us invite our teenager that's so courageous to say, fuck it all and stand up. Because it is. We need the teenager. The rebellion nature inside and just what it's not willing to tolerate and not be oppressed and suppressed or depressed. Let us thank that beautiful, incredible adult that's just trying to manage it all. With compassion for that adult that's taking responsibility, wanting to do the right thing. Just move forward. And let us give gratitude to our inner elder, that incredible wiser inside that knows all is good all the time. Doesn't sweat, doesn't get stressed. It comes from experience, knowledge, and wisdom. Let us thank our earth element to ground deep into new earth. The higher conscious templates of the unity grid consciousness, the Christed consciousness, the feminine Christ, the Magdalene codes, the crystal slide, the 144 grid. And let us feel that connection to our organs that are connected to the cosmos and all the planets that are already inside. Let us feel that connection to our sacred inner waters, the emotions, the energies in motion, allowing the creative energy of us to unfold, letting our sexual juices to be free, to expand and feel the divine creation inside. Let us feel that fire, the fuel that gives us the true confidence and power to fulfill the divine mission on earth by the grace of God's glory and its sacred fire inside. Let us thank the air, the element of air, in which fills our lungs through the power of Great Spirit, expanding our lungs and allowing us to release and let go, constantly creating this incredible purification, cleansing every few seconds inside our templates, so we can feel our heart and open up to our higher senses, to our divine essence, to the streamlight, to our Christed self, to our mighty I am presence, letting us feel our physical body and emotional body, our mental body, our etheric body, our spiritual body, and all the other higher bodies, letting us feel the joyfulness of our monads and the aspects, and all the splinters of many incarnations, off-planet and on-planet that we've come into, and allowing us to embrace the direction of the east, the south, the west, and the north. So we are inside our own sacred, beautiful, magnificent inner medicine wheel to connect with the outer medicine wheel. Let us connect to our light body in its fabulous, dazzling light. Whether your light body is in a geometric form of the cube, the pyramid, the Merkaba or the dodecahedron, the icosahedron, or all the higher, the tetrahedrons. However way your beautiful template is, you are that magnificent, pure essence of divine source, love and light, embodied in your own starship in this body here to anchor the grace of heavenly realm through your beautiful sacred feet on Mother Earth, and pass on the blessings to all the sentient beings here, feeling your deep connection to all intelligence of life and the magnificence of your role as a part of divine plan. And with that, we welcome the graceful presence of the seven sacred flames through our Myricon, the blue light, and the beautiful Lord Natos, the yellow flame. We welcome Paul the Venetian, the pink flame. We welcome Serpis Day, the white flame. We welcome Lord Hilarion, the green healing flame. We welcome the essence of Sananda and Lady Nada, the gold purple flame. And we welcome Master Saint Germain's violet flame, the violet fire. And I welcome you to repeat after me in the invocation of the decree of the violet fire, to allow the transmutations of your body, the impurities, to transmute back into life. I am the being of violet fire. You can repeat after me.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the purity God desires.
The last one. I am the being of violet fire.
I am the being of violet fire.
I am the purity God desires.
I am the purity God desires.
Take a deep breath in and hold it. Visualize the violet flame all around you, through you, in you, and release. And with your eyes closed, I will offer you a prayer for you to lead to. Feel that inside you, feel every word that is expressed, and allow yourself to feel the connection with all your sisters and brothers on earth at this time. My beloved I am presence, grateful am I now for thee, flooding forth life's perfect essence, setting all the earth now free. Let us see thyself now clearly. O rend now the human veil. Bless the masters we love dearly. By their love, God does prevail. Thank you for the air we're breathing. Thanks for earth, the sea and the sky. Thank you for the many blessings men so thoughtlessly pass by. Thank you for a heart that's beating. Thanks for home and comforts too. Thanks for perfect sight and hearing. All through love that flows from you. Thank you for the blessed sunshine, filling our worlds with cheer. Thank you for the elements and the friends we hold so dear. Thank you for the love's great forgiveness. Thanks for loving mercy too. Thanks for God's great gift of healing. Oh, thanks for all you do. Bless America, the free. Lift her people out of bondage. Raise their consciousness to thee. Hold them in the heart of freedom. See them in his violet flame. Purify their homes and families through the love of Saint Germain. My beloved, I am presence. Grateful am I now for thee. Take my body, mind, and spirit. Take the heart and soul of me. Make me thy perfect chalice, messenger of love and peace. By the light of God, give us ascension's sweet release. Take a deep breath in and hold your breath. Feel your heartbeat and release. And with that, we welcome our beloved Michael Mattucci to share his beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message for us.
That's that wonderful intro. All right. So, who wants to live a more expansive, magical, happy life? Well, that wasn't the end result I anticipated at all. But living life of joy is a product of what's happened to me in my life. And just to preface, I do live a completely guided life, and I've given my energy over to God, divine, and do this work in service. But I don't, to my knowledge at least, speak to angels or see energy or do channeling or any of that stuff, which maybe many of us, at least I have, associated with that life, you know. And I feel like the first element to taking the step towards that more happy, fulfilled, joyous life is forgetting what you know. Letting go of what you know. It's not that it's wrong, and maybe it does stay in your space, but letting go, because that's all in the head. So that can be a context that we have now. But what I used to think was, oh, you know, if you're going to be touched by God, you're going to be a priest. You're going to be a monk. You're going to be serving in Africa, living amongst the people, or in India in the slums, and that is the divine life. That's the life of service to God, and that's it. So it's just then people, whatever there, and then all of us plebes and all of us regular people everywhere else. And that was my interpretation. And so that began to shift when I met certain people when I was living in China. Now, granted, before that, I was living what we considered a charmed life. I had a strong God grounding, and I went to church, and I actually was a truth seeker, lived around Europe, and I studied Buddhism, and I went to China, studied Taoism, and I loved it, and nutrition, and energy, and everything, but I didn't have what we would consider a spiritual context for any of that. It was religion, philosophy, information in the head. And so I met these two individuals in China who may have been telling me the same stuff everybody was already telling, but maybe something opened up and I was able to hear. I don't know. Were these two angels sent to me in that moment? Or was I just ready to hear it because I had taken myself out of everything familiar? Everything. And I had already been living in Europe for 7 years, with many languages, and China was as much like the drop-in, parachuting, life explorer, truth seeker that I was. Being in China was definitely a different experience. Like, oh my gosh, it's really, literally like being on another planet. And I never did the expat thing, so I would dive in with people and see what was going on. And I would work and do different things and pursue jobs and so on. And so I started hearing this kind of call to maybe there's something you should be doing right now. couldn't do later. And so I kind of felt into that, and with the guidance of these two individuals, one happened to be a priest, a very forward-thinking guy who would give sermons that you could put in books that are absolutely amazing. And then one was just this guy I met one of my modeling agency out there in Shanghai. And they just talked differently, and I started sort of, well, what could I be doing? And I kind of counseled with them a little bit, but nothing serious, but just reflected. And I realized, maybe I got to see what's working. Okay, well, I was trying this business and this business and this business, and they weren't really going anywhere, but, well, I'm doing this modeling thing, and that seems to be paying my bills for a while. Let's try that. But I didn't really seriously consider that as important, because that's not noble. That's not being a monk in a mountain or serving the people in the ghetto. That's this sort of frivolous thing over here. So I'll just keep that in my space. But then what I'll do is I can use all my business knowledge to then help out nonprofits around the world, maybe connecting executives with nonprofits and bringing people together. So I felt called to return to Europe, and I went to Milan. And lo and behold, the nonprofit thing wasn't working at all. No traction. I had a big international network at that point. No traction. No one wanted to move. But hey, modeling, boom, commercials, everything. And I thought, no way. There's no way. This is not noble. This is not a calling. This is not holy. And I judged it. Again, in my head, judging that constantly. And I met this photographer. We became friends. And through his example more than his actual teaching, he did go to church, and he like played music for the services, but he was like the John Travolta angel from that movie, like beer drinker, likes a sexy guy, that was for him. So when he showed me, I was like, oh, wait a minute, the people that he touched, like 3 people prior to me, like their lives had completely changed from being friends with him, really chosen divine paths. I thought, man, I'm judging this. And then as soon as I stopped judging it, it was like, oh, you don't want to model, you need to check out acting. Didn't really seem that, divine either, but then I realized, oh, well, people are looking at the TV screen all the time, so maybe this could be the portal to get messages to the world. So I went back to New York. And at this point, though, I had actually gotten to the point where I was like, the antithesis of the guy who goes to Jesus and said, "How I want to follow you, what do I have to do?" And just drop everything, right? And I had this idea of, the cat, going through the eye of the needle. Like the rich man, has, it's harder to get into heaven than it is to pass through the eye of the needle. A rich man pass through the eye of the needle. So I finally actually felt inside ready to give up everything at that moment. This is not a recent moment. This is like 7-10 years ago. And I was like, I'm ready. It was like singing. It was like, come fly with me, let's fly away. If you could use some exotic booze, come down to far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. And on that rhythm, I went into New York. I'm like, I didn't really want to be back in the United States. I love living away, but I thought, all right, I'm going to embrace this. Finally, I don't have to worry about visas or work permits or anything. I'll just go back. And I went to New York, and I was on my ride. I'm like, I'm called. This is going to be great. I don't know what my mission is, but I know I'm on the right line. And then a certain amount of months later, it just went to shit. And I didn't have the people who were meant. And I had these beautiful mentors overseas, and I actually found some new ones in Europe as well. And then in New York, holy people giving me shitty advice, like really third-dimensional, basic, grin and bear it. Actors got to work, you got to suffer, you got to go through this. This is how it goes. And then it was just like, yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, yesterday. And it was terrible. It was like, I was going through this training, this acting training, and I was with another mentor who got me into singing, got me into dance, got me into filmmaking and producing, but it was still shitty. And I spent 2.5 years or whatever in New York, and then it was just too much, and the signs completely, I went and sublet my apartment in the summer to go study with him on Long Island in Montauk. And then it was like the worst summer that we were there. I was producing for him, And all these crazy people were in the program, and they were just causing the biggest mess. He gave all the work to me. And I was just hating it. Went back, my apartment was gone. They're like, oh, we actually like living with all women, so we're going to keep it this way. No apartment, like, it's time to go. And I went off to LA. For the moment, I was like, yes, this is great. Oh, I'm fun, free. Okay, we're going to do this LA thing. This is going to be great. I still hadn't started what I consider the more recent act. I wouldn't say it's a chapter, it's more like an act in my journey. But then I was, through certain circumstances, I was dancing and I kept re-injuring myself. Because I would put all of my angst and all of my acting emotion that I was learning to channel, learning to express into it. And dancers thought it was great, but it was too much for the body. I hurt myself, so I Googled yoga and my zip code in Hollywood and ended up at this Kundalini yoga and meditation studio, which unbeknownst to me is a spiritual practice. I thought it was physical because I was a physical guy. Nutrition, health, fitness training, help people out. And then it took me 8 months to open up the awareness and realize something else is going on here. And then through years of work, I began to realize, oh my gosh, this is going on. So just backtracking really quick. So lesson 1, don't judge. Let everything you know go. At any point, no matter what anybody tells you, any moment, it's just another thought in space. You don't need to attach to it. And then 2, don't expect, if you do get the call, that it's going to be great and roses right afterwards. You might have to go through an extensive training period, which was years of all those practices, plus what I mentioned before artistically, plus years of different types of meditation, yoga, breath work, away workshops, and then the internal shit, working with people who are coaches who helped me just, connect up what the messages were coming and then get them out and express and do the inner integration of the healing to really bring it into the body. Because look, you can have a mental idea of what it is and you can know the path. I know what it is. This is what I'm going to do. It's this conscious life and this, but it's a different thing to do it every day. It's a different thing. You've got so many things tugging at you, pulling out responsibilities and jobs and bills and this and just people around you, the neighborhood and so on. And so huge key is to bring it in experientially, and we'll do one quick thing after I'm done speaking in a few minutes I'll show you, we'll do it together, how I started, to get that in the body. But it's moving from the head to the heart, is moving from this brain space, this brain energy into this entire structure and getting the lessons in all of the cells. And that is, for me, one of the most important, if not the most important thing to making the transition. And so, it wasn't always just the lessons I was getting through the classes and the workshops. It was the daily integration and using my circumstances to change things. So, for example, I'd done management consulting in the past, and that was my main thing while I was making movies in LA. And I had this group of people, and I was supposed to be their coach or their manager or whatever. They kept doing the same dumb crap all the time. And I'm like, you're paying me to teach you. I'm trying to help you out, become a more bright and better person, make more money, cooperate better with other people, and it wasn't working. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to let go. I'm going to let go and just, you can do whatever you want. Every time, if it is the 10th time that you've asked me for that information, I'm going to pretend like this first. If I've already talked 2 hours on this one particular thing and you screw it up again, I'll give you another 2 hours. I just dropped it all. And instantly, I felt so much better. But even more interestingly, they stopped doing it. It was one of the biggest lessons to understanding, first, my own, how much I was giving my power away, energy that I want for myself and for my service. And also realizing it's just an energetic cord. If you just drop your side, then that's it. There's nothing to pull against. The other person, they served their duty and they're off serving some other duty for somebody else or giving you the next lesson. It's not holding on to that. Just drop. Okay, cool. Oh no, I'm going to let go. I'm going to lose. You're going to win the conversation. Who cares? You're an infinite being who's on this planet for millions of years or in existence. You're the totality of the universe and you're worried about one project or one neighbor. And how many thousands of lives have you lived? And you're like, what is that in the course of everything? And we're so worried about it. Drop it. Who cares? I lose. Whatever. Done. Who cares? Next. Doesn't matter. I'm happy. I don't have to. It's not really even losing. It's really what I term as surrender. Surrender's not a bad word. It's not a bad word. We consider it a bad word. You were defeated. No, I wasn't defeated. I let go. I surrender. And that's that last part, is moving into the experiential part in the cells, and then surrendering. And that's going to be all of those, I can't do that, it's coming up, it's like, But if you just like, it's on the other side, everything that comes forth, and that comes forth in your home, in your work, in politics, and the TV, is just another invitation to put that experiential knowledge into your cells. It's going to keep coming up as you purify. And as you purify, one great thing is that you just get more joyful. And then you start seeing the joy in everything. You start seeing it as a game, because every day I get to practice. Every day I get to practice being on the divine path. Every day. And I feel into my space of chosen, but not chosen as the only one. Although I did feel like it had to be you. It had to be you. I've wandered around. I finally found there's somebody who. But now I also realize that I'm not going to get to wherever I'm supposed to go by myself. You're not going to ascend by yourself. We're all going to do it together. So what's my project really matter if I'm not bringing along the collective? It's not about me. And I can be serving my purpose. And we need people of purpose in every industry, in every city, in every strata, in every type of family, in every type of place. It's not about doing what I do, what HoniB does, what anyone specific does, who you look at and say, wow, it's just about being you, but your authentic you. The authentic you that's in your soul, in your heart, and not up here, which is what everybody else told you. I decided, I chose this. Did you really choose it? Or did you choose it based on a certain set of information that you had and a certain upbringing that you had? And maybe you don't have to leave it, but you're going to just pivot, and you're going to use what you know and what you do in a different way. So, in the interest of time, I'm going to wrap up here. But I'm going to show you one thing to bring this from a mental idea to an experiential idea. So, I get the feeling, now, as a person who's very physical and has, done training and done, biked across countries and done triathlon, things like that, I don't expect that this is the standard level of movement. However, just to get a show of hands, so HoniB will move, and movement is not gym. I mean movement, dance, breath, tai chi, walking, whatever. HoniB will move once or at least once every other day. Good. Okay, so this would be really easy. So everybody stand up. And I'm going to show you, people ask, well, how did you get your purpose? How did you know? And I'll show you how I got it. Now, I just recommend, this is just one way to put the energy in the body. So first, we're just going to do a couple minutes, just a minute or so of just movement, just to get you in your body. He's been sitting down for however much time. So I just want you to stretch up, high as you can, Now stretch up a little higher. Stretch up a little higher. Go on your toes. Stretch up. And then fold over. It doesn't matter how far how far you go. It's just about moving the back and moving the legs. Slide, move over to your left a little bit, over to your left leg. Touch whatever is on your body. Touch your knee, touch your shin, touch your foot. Go to the right leg. And then send some love energy into the leg. Oh yeah, hello, I love you. Now go to the other side again. Move around. Okay, good. Just a little bit farther than you did the last time. And then to the other side. Okay, good. Back up to the top. So let's just shake the arms out for a second. Shake the hips out. Now I would do this after my yoga or dance or something like that, right? So and move around. So I'm just going to move the head around a little bit. Side. Dip the knees when you do it, so you get a little bit of a bounce there. But dip the knees. Open the mouth. Stretch your jaw. Don't stretch our jaw. How much tension's in there? Whoa. Oh my gosh, so much. Go dip to one side, to the left, stretch the neck out, stretch the hip, dip to the other side. All right, we're getting into our bodies now. Left up one more time to the right, and one more time to the left. Oh yes. And then just don't kick anybody, but kick out a little bit. This is a ground. This thing just grounds your body a little bit. Oh yeah, get out of there in space and link it up with the earth. Okay, now I'm going to show you first So you can think about what you're going to say. We're all going to say it out loud, but no one's going to hear your stuff. Don't worry about it. They're thinking about their stuff, okay? No one's going to hear you, and you're going to say out whatever you're at in your path. You want to you're going to communicate what you are doing, and you're going to communicate gratitude. I'm going to show you how to do it for what's coming. So I'm not going to be, I want this, or give me that. You can be part of that too, but I'm going to I'm going to do a declaration of where I'm at and what's already happening. And it doesn't matter what it is particular to your life. I'm going to use my purpose, because that's kind of what comes up for me. So I'm going to do it, and then you can watch, and then I've done this with people before, so here we go. This is what I do. I literally get out of my thing. I would get out and really, I close out my practice, or just the physical part, and then I would literally go, I am a divine being. I am connected to all there is. The infinite is running through me, and I would feel it, feel the infinite. I am infinite source energy is flowing through me. I am a servant of the divine. I am ready for my purpose. I am excited for my purpose. I am ready to serve, and I love to serve, and I'm ready. Continue to show me the path, and show me in a way that's more clear, and more amazing, and open, and just exciting, and joyful, and loving. And I'm ready to do this, and let's do this. That's it. Love it. You put it in your bodies. Put it in your bodies. We're always playing our small selves. Oh, the fun. I would like this. I'm just going to meditate. I'm just going to, did you call? I just mentally put it in your body, boom. And then feel the cells, electrify your cells with the divine essence that they already have in them. So you just turn on the light switch. It's coming from inside of you. So move around a little bit, and then when I say 3, you go on your own guided, whatever wants to come out, and just say it loud. And again, just say whatever you feel like, whatever's happening in your life. Okay. Oh, today I feel like, come on, let's hear it.
I am a divine being. In control of my life. Sharing love and teaching people. Receiving love. Feeling clear. Living in abundance. Loving this body. Loving this body. I love this body. I love my gratitude for where I am and helping people.
Hallelujah!
To me.
So that's just a little taste, and with that, I will hand it over to my dear brother Michael and say thank you for this opportunity to share, and just know you're literally that close, and if you feel like, I didn't quite feel what I wanted to feel, then it doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just means it just wants more practice. I need a little more practice now. But more practice now. Great. If you say, I love myself, but I don't feel it, maybe it's not authentic. No, it just means it needs to be filled up a little bit. So fill up yourselves. Don't judge. Get ready for a long journey, but a journey that's beautiful and joyful in every step. And put it in your body. Put it in your body. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful.
The beautiful, most powerful thing about this message is that joy has been expressed to its fullest. And when Honey and I were in Long Island a month ago, when the Syrian Council came through, it really spoke about joy. If that was not an expression of joy rattling, and as they said, jolting, then that gives us the experience of what our innate nature does, because as Honey spoke earlier, this message that's been coming through us is really to be at the fullest expression of our divine nature. When we're in that joy, when we're in that peace, when we're in that love, we're able to co-create and feel the fullness of that. So when Honey and I spoke about this beautiful service that's been happening once a month, each Sunday, we've been talking about how we can be in service, what we can do to bring this out to the community. And each week we've spoke about the different activities we can do, the different things we can do in the community. But I want to take it a step further. I want to look at how can we be of service to ourselves. Because before we can serve anyone else, we have to do what society hasn't taught us, put ourselves first. Which I know in my religion, in many others, there's that guilt, there's that shame, there's like, how can I put myself first and allow that to come forward to serve others? Because as I speak to many people in this room that are healers, that are mothers or fathers, it's hard to put ourselves first without feeling what society's conditioning, the guilt, the shame, the blame, the how can I dare put myself in that level? But really, when we place ourselves first, we do the one thing that enables us to our highest power. Self-love. Something that we don't speak about a lot, but loving ourselves so that we can serve, so we can be of our highest power, our highest joy, our highest level of expression. And when we speak about that, a lot of us feel this self-love, okay. What is self-love? It's literally putting that energy, that service, that fullness of our empowerment within ourselves. So today, I'd like to share an activity that we can do to help empower. But before that, I just want to share, as we all know right now, as we go through what's happening in this world. We know we just came back by summer solstice. We had a full moon. People know we have 3 eclipses coming up in July. There's a lot of heavy stuff going on.
And there was the red moon.
And there's a red moon again. So, just out of hands, how many people are going through some just heavy transformation? I mean, like, let's just say heavy shit. We're going through some heavy stuff. I know I'm personally going through a father that is just slowly, like asking the deepest level from myself to go into self. The reason I bring this up is because it's interesting when all this chaos happens. Isn't it interesting as much chaos that's happening, on the other side of it, there's that much power of light. And it's interesting when the full moons happen, the eclipse happen, all these things happen, we get thrown around, tossed and pushed around when we get caught up with this chaos. We get caught up with this energy that literally throws us down. And what I look at on the other side is what happens if we can tap into the power behind the chaos. Being in the eye of the hurricane. Allowing us to step into the light and not allowing that dark heaviness to pull us down. Because if anyone has looked on TV, social media, or in society, what are the things holding our vibration down? And the opposite of joy. Fear. What else? Anxiety, stress, worry, blame, guilt. Everything that's holding our vibration down is not allowing this joy to come up. That's why it's so phenomenal to see Matucci come forward and give us this act of celebration, of enthusiasm, and excitement, of joy that's rattling up. That we can feel that, right? Demonstrate. That's that God nature, that beautiful love within that's being brought forward. But what is preventing us from rising up from that anxiety, that fear, that stress? What's holding us back? I saw something that really got me when I saw where it was. I was in the Philippines or Indonesia, and I saw self-love equals self-acceptance. I was like, wow. How much do we accept ourselves? How much do we look inward versus outwardly? Because many of us that are very called to service, we keep looking at for our values, for our gratitude, we keep looking outward. But what happens if we shift that and know and feel within that God presence is already within us? That power is already here. We just have to take the time, discipline, and energy just to go within. So this morning I woke up and I just felt very inspired. Came back exhausted last night, and honey looked like me. So like, my goodness, like sometimes I come back from a full day and I'm just like exhausted, and the energy is just like, blah. I'm like, okay, I gotta change this this hologram, because I can get caught up in the mind, like I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and honey reminds me very quickly.
Gratitude.
Thanks. Because you know when you work a full day, you're just like, you just give and give and give, and you come back and you're just sitting there and you're like, and of course the first one that sees is the one you love most, and she's like, I'm not gonna do that here. See a smile. So I sat outside, listened to the nature, felt the heat, was like, and just went in, started to think, okay, how how much of us are giving more than receiving? Just show hands. How much of us are giving more than receiving? Isn't it just a simple equation, really? Really. It's not like MC equals, squared. It's a simple equation. Balance, harmony. Giving, receiving, giving, receiving. So in that today, I'd like to focus on how we can look at in our own reception. And in self-love, there comes that empowerment with us, which comes down to just 3 simple things that I would like to bring. There's many, but 3 that caught me this morning. 1, gratitude. That opens the heart. That brings forth the love within us. 2, value. How we value ourselves, how our self-worth comes forth, how we place ourselves in the fullness, because when we value ourselves, how do we feel? Good. When we fully value that I am valuable. And a lot of us are like, I don't feel so valued. I'm looking at all the values out there and all the things, but how much do we say, I'm valuable? And then coming straight back, I am love. Like, really? Call it God, call it divine, call it spirit, but really the mechanism of all the particles that we're made of is love. But how much do we actually express to ourselves, I'm loved? And as Honey calls it, I put D's on lots of things because I over-enunciate. What happened? Mom is a teacher, so I say loved, valued. So I'm going to say I'm loved. Because when we're loved, how do we feel?
Delicious.
Oh.
Yeah.
We feel connected. We feel worthy. We feel valued. We feel like maybe this Romeo and Juliet Cinderella story just was kind of a farce. We kept looking for it. Maybe if I give all this love outwardly, I'll receive it. Isn't it true that no one can love you more than you can love yourself?
You're here.
But how many of us are like, well, how much am I loving myself? So today we have these beautiful flowers. These white roses.
Particular
And what
purity.
purity flame. And I love how divine timing and purpose comes through, because I could not be more grateful of what Michael just demonstrated. I'm like, wow, that is like, whoo! Fullness of expression, alive, and an emanation of spirit, joy, and enthusiasm, and excitement, and happiness, and everything coming full force, which is like, no, that's not divine. I don't know what to call that, because that's full expression, right? So now, taking that into leading what Honey and I spoke about. Earlier this morning, she was talking about joy, and said, well, I felt inspired today because I woke up and just went directly to my hands and started to feel why I'm valued. I'm valued. Why I'm feeling loved. Empowering, using these phrases to empower within. I'm grateful. And if there are examples, I am valued by the divine within me. I am grateful for these hands that can serve. I am loved by the heart within. I am valued by the compassion that serves. I am valued by the kindness that comes forward. Each and every one of us has these incredible, magnificent, beautiful powers within us. And now we each to make a declaration by standing up. And we have, and not to put the spot on anyone, but we're going to give just the intention of taking a petal from the flower. And I want you to make that declaration. And yes, these petals, I know we go to the flowers. I don't want to think of this as your declaration, as what you're placing forward, because this is an empowerment for your well-being to rise and to serve outwardly, because this is what this is about, our service of love, kindness, compassion outwardly. But it starts with ourselves. It starts within.
The ownership. The ownership is very important when you're before a group.
It can be beyond valued. It can be beyond grateful. It can be beyond loved. Whatever you feel is that decree to bring forth what we all know in each of you. Each of you have a gift, talent, incredible power. And now it's your chance to listen to yourself because you get to do this at any moment. If it's first thing in the morning, if it's before you go to bed, to bring it forth.
So the words would be, I love and respect my, whatever that my is, fill in the blank. You can say one or two things that you just say.
And what's important about that is you're going within. So it's not like, I am loved because of my beautiful car.
It's your
It's just a
quality
CRV.
of divine that you are courageously claiming. So we begin with Matucci. Yes, this is our special guest.
Yes.
So we all hold that space for you as that incredible being that you are. We each are going to do this. So when Matucci says, I love and respect my 1, 2, or 3, whatever things he say, we all say, what do you say to him, Michael? I love it. Say, I usually say, yes, you are. But,
Or I welcome you.
Yeah.
Or I hear you. I understand. Like to give that like acknowledgement, that recognition. Yeah. Do that. Yeah. Because like part of this, which is the biggest one, which comes back, is acceptance. Not only are you accepting, we're accepting it. We're feeling that supported, so we're feeling that you
And
need
we
as
bow
well.
to that.
So as we bow to that presence in the fullness.
Okay.
And the pedal part?
You can take a petal or just, for each of them you can, or just the rose and just claim it.
That's right. I adore, enjoy, and am grateful for the fact that I am playful love, joy, and divine expressed here in my existence.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
you are.
What are the words? I love it.
Well, you can say, I love and respect, or however you feel.
I'm valued, I'm worthy, I'm things that are
Yeah,
self-empowering.
something that you know it's yours. You claim it.
Okay, well, so what came to me is I love and respect my wisdom.
Yes,
you
you
are.
are.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I love and respect and adore the truth that was given to me to share and to express within my heart.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. Thank you.
I love and respect like the reality of having full access to the fullness of who I am, and I feel grateful for being able to access that and bring that out, and look forward to practicing that fully.
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
you are.
Thank you.
I love and respect my inner wisdom.
Yes, you
Yes,
are. Appreciate it.
I love and respect that I am finally free, and that I live and share my life authentically to help myself and to help others.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. Thank you.
I love and respect my ability to empower others to love and heal themselves.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. Thank you.
I love and respect and am grateful for my passion for life and all of the God's creatures.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Go this way or across? I love and respect my ability to be a loving being and to live my truth.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are.
are.
I love, respect,
and value my compassion and my vulnerability.
Yes, you are.
I love and respect my self-empowerment and my path on my spiritual journey.
Yes, you are.
I love and respect myself for the light that I am and for becoming the leader that I know I can be.
Yes, you are.
I love, appreciate, respect, and celebrate that divine essence that moves me.
Yes, you are.
I embrace, I honor, I value, I'm deeply grateful for the innocence of the love of my heart that guides me to be in divine service for all in this ascension.
Yes, you are.
How did that feel?
Beautiful.
That was really
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very important that we show up in presence of each other, right?
Mm.
And claim it, because we have to claim it, and our voice is a very important part of the signal into the universe, hearing it. So the collaborative components of the universal forces then correspond to your message and to claim, so that it begins to put things into motion. And
one piece,
yes,
thank you,
sure.
thank you. One piece is, I used to say, fake it till you make it. Honey would say, feel it till you make it, in a more positive way. Feel it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. It's kind of like, oh, I got it. Like, you don't got it. You don't got it. So feel it till you make it. I know that in our hearts, there are still transformations, blockages, resistance that we're all moving through in any element. When we feel that vibration, that frequency, and practice that enables that power to come forward. And so we can say it. Another level is we can breathe it as well. And one element that I'm bringing forward in future levels that I can't wait is taking that time. What I do with every session when I end. I am grateful for. And then in my head, I feel it. And if I don't say it, I imagine it, intentionalize it, and send that vibration, that feeling, that act, everything that's been placed in that intention through my body, so every cell, every atom can actually transform into it. And it's an activity with saying it, as well with breathing. And just in case maybe you're like in a big place and you don't want to scream it out loud, fine, but you can breathe it within yourself in a morning meditation, out in nature. You can bring those affirmations and empower through the body, just as much as the frequency through what you're saying. You can also inhale that, bring it through your body, and expand that, and see where that takes you. Because if you take it a step further, expanding that through every cell, every molecule, and all of a sudden that light expands through your body, and you're just using value, worth, love, acceptance, and that starts to then transform automatically in our own self-healing, creating that self-love that we're all on this journey together.
So your flowers, thank you, my love. Your flowers each have a sacred petal. Each of them have a perfect frequency. So you take that today and really embrace more of these divine qualities into that and claim it. So claim it. And from there, serve from there. We have put on the page all these different ways in which what you receive from here, the energy always has to move forward. You can't hone it. It has to always move forward. So then serve it. Go pass it forward. We have the next 30 days to pass it forward and add more to the list and share with us. We're very grateful that some of you have been sending messages to us. Well, I did this, like throughout the month. It's so beautiful. So these are for you. And in our closing, I'm our closing, let us just bring our hands together. We're going to do our best not to cover that as much as we can. Just notice. We give great gratitude to all of our ascension team, we call it team above, that assisted us in showing up today, and just being together, being in the presence of Divine's grace, just sitting in that space that just allows us to be and celebrate who we are in this formality, in this dance of creation in which we are embodied. Give gratitude to all of the Universal Corporation, all of our guides and the angels and the masters. Deep gratitude to our beautiful heart and the heart of our entire organs. They each have a heart. And maybe courageously love ourselves the way Divine loves us. That's what Beloved Yeshua told me. Are you willing to love yourself the way Divine loves you? And I cried for 3 days. I couldn't even handle that because I can't. And it's a work in progress. Getting to that level. To allow myself and allow ourselves. So from that place, we can emanate the purest light of God's grace that is designed to just flow through us. That's all. In our beings. So thank you for coming. Thank you for celebrating. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for the beautiful heartbeats. And special gratitude to our beloved Michael Mattucci, our sacred guest. And your devotion and what you're sharing on the planet. We're very grateful to you and the support with the indigenous. We were all listening to the indigenous and to my beautiful love Michael. And we hold Michael's father in our hearts as he's getting ready to transition. And we're very grateful for his presence, to be a beautiful spirit guide. And just hold him and Michael's mother and Michael's brother during this space, and all of us in that place. So Aho, Namaste, in Lakesh, Banura Esh, say it Banura Esh.